bars 5-6 nights a week.
Yeah.
You know.
Busy, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, it's...
You stay busy all year?
Yeah, all year. It's like for like 20 years now.
Cool. Congratulations.
You know?
But do you like it? You love it?
I love it. But, you know, there's a part of me that was like, God damn.
I got to go again.
You know? Like, you know. You know what I actually noticed that I thought was really weird was, you know, like you get to a gig and it's like you were never there. And you weren't, you know.
Oh,
You
yeah.
set up all your shit.
It's just like another day.
And then, you know, you play your fucking set to a bunch of people eating breakfast or whatever the fuck it is, you know. And that was just the one I was thinking of the other day. It was a brunch thing.
We were just talking about a brunch gig yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just picturing people eating eggs while you're playing just feels weird.
The whole thing is odd, you know. So they're trying to talk, but they're, you know, you got to play. You got to be kind of quiet, but you don't really, you know, sometimes it's just like, oh, come on, man. Well, you know, then I packed up and I was like, it was like I was never here. I was like, I just used up like 2.5 hours of my life, you know, and it was like nothing except for a couple of pieces of green. You know?
Yeah, after 20 years of it, but you switch up a lot every single night you're set. Do you make a new one every day? Do you have a few that you go to?
Oh,
set A, set B, set C.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of them that are like for years. You know, like the one gig, I've been there since 2006, every Sunday.
Where's that at?
At the Rush Inn in Avon.
Nice.
And then I bring somebody
That's like a
different with
brunch
me.
one?
No, that's actually like a dinner, like a 5 to 8 on a Sunday. It's
Oh,
perfect.
that's nice. Yeah.
Perfect.
The Russian. You said.
Yeah, and it's cool, you know. It's like a bunch of weird people just chilling out. And, you know, now it's been so many years that everybody knows I'm always a little bit late. You know, it's like he's not going to start at 5 o'clock. He's probably going to start at 5:15. You know, and, you know, so if I'm not there, bands will start like, God, there was nobody there. We were so ready. You know, it's like 5:30 was packed. But, yeah.
5 to 8 on a Sunday. That's a good time.
Oh, it's a
slot.
great
That's
one.
one to keep. Yeah.
You know, but then I would, you know, a lot of time I'm looking for a brunch gig now, but like a steady one. It was great. I would do a Sunday brunch and then go to do that gig at night. And Fridays double up, happy hour like a 5 to 7, and then do 8 or 9 till midnight or whatever. Yeah, 11 or midnight. And that's been my life forever. Then, you know, COVID.
Yeah. One of the nice things from COVID was a lot of places changed their hours to get you done, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night instead of 1 a.m. I was all right with that part.
Yeah, when gigs don't go till 2 a.m., they're my favorites.
Yeah.
1 a.m. I don't want to do midnight.
I don't mind midnight. I can handle midnight. It's 1 a.m. I'm really against. And then 2 a.m. is like out of control. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to hang out till 2 in the morning, that's one thing.
It's either out of control or completely dead by then.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Or
like you're
both.
playing.
That's the problem.
That's funny. I'm imagining that.
That's when all the trouble starts, man. Yeah.
Cool. Did you play it all today?
Today, no, today was just goofing off. I was running around all day. You know, my youngest kid is 18. So he's got a prom, and he's going to prom.
Oh, nice.
And he's, you know.
This is his senior year?
Yeah, and he's got, you know, his first girlfriend, you know, and he's like totally just, I mean, it's actually incredible to see, you know.
They get way into it, man.
My younger boy started like hanging out with girls and stuff when he was pretty young, like 7th grade or something, you know. So, but he would always kind of hide it from me. Not hide it, but, you know, kind of like, he wouldn't talk about it, just hang out, you know, like these girls would come over and their friends and whoever, you know.
Yeah.
What am I gonna, you know. But my youngest one, man, he's just like, and I've never, I mean, it's incredible to see.
Head over heels for you, man.
Head over heels, you know, and it's just like a beautiful innocence, you know.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So I was with him today for a little while, hanging out and paying school fines
Fines.
Not fine.
What did you do?
I'm sorry, fees. Yeah.
Detention's getting rough now. They got to cover the teacher
Yeah.
expense for staying late.
You got to give them like $20 now.
Stay late, yeah.
Yeah, but they were like, you got to pay all your school fees, and then the kid can go get a ticket and go to prom or whatever. $100 for prom.
Wow.
Is that expensive? I don't know.
That's about right. I think I had to pay 60. And so with inflation, yeah. Let's carry the one. Yeah.
I didn't go to any of mine, but I went to Julie's senior year. Like, I was already out of school, went back. Hung out there. I'm like, all right, this is weird. Thought I was out, man, but they pulled me back in.
Fredo!
I think I went to a homecoming the year after I graduated, too. Yeah, that was weird.
It's weird. It's like, you ever like go to a high school party right after you graduated from high school, like college age? You go back there, you're like, I don't belong here anymore. I don't know what changed, but it's over for me.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did that.
I think I did it like once, and it was just weird. And that was the end of that.
Yeah. I probably did it too many times because all of my friends went to college and I didn't. So I still wanted to party. Who's left? Well, I got some younger sisters. I hang out with their friends.
There was I was on crutches for like 2 years, like 16 to 18 or 17 to 19. I don't know, something like that. 17.
Last time I saw you, you were on them.
Really?
So, yeah, it was that long since I've seen you in person.
Damn.
Yeah. We were on we were doing a photo shoot for Scene Magazine at Beachland Ballroom stage.
Oh, was I on crutches at that point?
Yeah, I think you came in on them. I think. Yeah.
Oh, damn! I must have been hurting. I wonder what happened.
And
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think I asked you. That was that wasn't the first time I met you. I don't think. But
Yeah, that was a very puzzling day. Everybody seemed so bummed out. Like, why are we here? This is silly.
yeah, it was.
Here are a bunch of toys, play them.
Yeah, the Jimmy Kimmel or whatever late night show they played the little instruments. Jimmy Fallon, that was the one. That was popular, so they had us do a bunch of people from bands to recreate that in just a few pictures.
Oh.
And,
Yeah, it was funny. I was actually trying to play mine. I was like, God, this is kind of funny.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I
toy harmonica.
I'm playing a Muddy Waters song.
Got the electric kazoo ready, man.
I had maracas, little baby ones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, man.
So what got you on crutches?
Oh, I was born with an arterial venous malformation. And it got to the point when I was about... It was always problematic, but all the doctors said that it would eventually that it would just fade away, like a hemangioma.
What is that? What is that?
It would kind of like
condition?
grow with, or it would fade away as I grew, but mine actually grew with me.
What is that? That what you described?
The arterial,
yeah.
The arterial venous malformation are like vessels that are enlarged, and they are almost, it's not like they're tied into knots, but they're so cluttered that when I would, like if I was to run from here to the street and back, your blood's pumping, so the blood would settle in my legs and they wouldn't come back up. It would take too long because the vessels were all kind of like jammed in there, kind of, it was just weird. So it got to the point where it was, I kind of made a concave groove in my bone after all these years, and I was just having problems, it was about 14, 15. It got pretty, started affecting me a little bit more. And then at 16, I was playing a pickup football game with a bunch of friends. I was the youngest guy out of, so how old are you at that point? Like a sophomore, maybe?
Yeah.
Freshman, sophomore?
Sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, it was right before junior year. That's what it was. And there was this big guy, and he decked me. He just, like, flat out crushed me. And, because he was pissed, because I was small and I was fast,
Yeah.
Because, I used to be a small guy. But, I dodged him every time, and he just decked me. And like all the other guys beat up on him a little bit, but I never recovered. And that wasn't why it happened, but that was the injury that was like, oh. So then I had a surgery on it. All the doctors said that I should have my leg cut off. I went to Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and Harvard, Massachusetts General, a bunch of other hospitals in between. But then this guy in Dr. Insup Choi, in Massachusetts, he tried to do this therapy. It was sclerotherapy. And it's kind of like when it was a European treatment at that point in time. But, now it's kind of like what you see that happens to women where they, get rid of the varicose veins, or anybody really. But I mean, it's always like sexy legs.
All the billboards when you're going to
all
Sandusky. I see all those.
Yeah, So it was kind of like that, but you can only have so much alcohol in there, otherwise it'll kill you. If you put too much in it, it'll, stop you. And so I had to go. It was weird. I would go to do these things, and I would fly to Boston with my dad. And it was like a whole day of like tests I had to go through. And then the next day I'd have surgery. And then I'd have to keep my leg above my heart for 3 weeks. So I'd have to lay on the couch with my leg up. And then be on crutches for a couple of weeks and then walk. And that was like my normal routine for about a good year and some, year and a half. But then the bone got so brittle that it broke. It would just break. Like not quite stress fractures, but something similar, Then, I think I broke it swimming.
Jeez.
And, it was kind of like that was the last straw. And it was such a weird one because I had to crawl from I don't even know why I'm telling you guys all this weird shit. Hi, my name's Austin. Nice to see everybody. And
I'm intrigued.
So. But I broke my leg in the pool, and I was trying to get out of the pool. I'm like, shit, I can't walk. So I started crawling. I crawled the locker room, and I crawled up the stairs. I crawled out of the building into my car, drove my car to the doctor, crawled out of my car to his office, because I didn't have cell phones, I mean, or maybe I did, or they were, I don't know, it was 2000. The hell was it? 2006? No, 96. So that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many cell phones.
Yeah,
Big ones.
The big ones,
Yeah, the big giant ones. But
North Coast PCS.
Yeah.
99, something like that.
Yeah, so that was the last straw. And then I cut it off, and it's been great. They're expensive. And sometimes it's a little wear and tear, and it's a little different kind of pain, but it's all right. But, so that's my, there you go. Well, good to see you guys.
It's a war story.
It's been nice. All right.
This is a music podcast. Yeah.
Concave Groove.
Podcast.
But that's why I sing the blues, man.
Yeah.
That's why.
I think Concave Groove. You said that in there. That could be a song.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the name of a band.
Right? Yeah.
The Concave Groove.
Concave Groove. What do you got? Wow. Man, we're round. We're smooth. We'll make you happy.
And we groove.
And we're comfortable.
Yeah.
We play the Cavern Club.
We're gonna write that song after this after we hit stop. Then we're gonna hit record again.
Are we
Write
on
that
right
song.
now?
Yeah, I think so.
It's always
Oh, man. That's great. There's a lot of trash talk in there. Man.
That's pretty much what this is.
I love it. Yeah, so. Yeah, but started playing guitar because of that. Legs were giving out. Couldn't really hang with people. So, my one friend was playing guitar. And I thought, man, that's cool as shit. And, so I'd play.
Yeah.
And I'd play for all day long. So it's kind of cool.
Can you play guitar when you have your leg above your heart?
No.
Laying on your back? Is that how that happens?
Yeah, I don't think it was, even an option.
Yeah, because man, that's got to be like incredibly boring. But if you had something like that to pass the time, it could help. And
Yeah, you can get good.
build up your chops.
Yeah, I think I just read and watched TV.
Yeah,
because the guitar thing was, I don't know, it was weird. I mean, I played guitar all the time.
yeah.
I think now I slowed down a little bit in terms of, I don't practice a ton at home like I used to.
Well, you're playing 5 nights a week.
Yeah, but it's more of like, you got to do. I kind of practice on the gig.
Yeah,
Because a lot of my gigs are, cool, wonderful, awesome.
people eating eggs.
One time I was playing in Clarksdale, Mississippi at the Juke Joint Chapel on Hobson Plantation. It's an old gin mill, and they converted into a stage, and it's a beautiful place. It's like everything music should be. And we're hanging out there, and it was myself and my friend Libby Ray Watson. She's a great bluesy player out of Pascagoula, Mississippi. She was a hippie girl, or she is a hippie girl. But when she was a teenager, she would go around to Big Joe Williams' house, or Sam Chapman from the Mississippi Sheiks, all these old black dudes, and just sort of like, why is this little hippie girl here to, and she'd just record them and play music for them, and they'd show her stuff, and she's an incredible human. But anyway,
That's awesome.
she was playing with me at this gig, and I was playing something, so she started playing. She just had a couple of sticks and was banging on something, just to keep some kind of backbeat during brunch. And a lot of brunch today. And then, so I popped off my leg and I just gave it to her. She went, oh my God. And then these people went, they're trying to eat their eggs. And just like, what? Why is that guy's leg off? I don't want to see that.
It's part of the brunch.
Part of the brunch, man.
Use it for a slide.
Eggs and legs. Whole different kind of eggs and legs.
Table.
Some people were bummed out. Come on. No, seriously, I'm trying to eat my eggs.
Weak stomachs.
I found it kind of funny. I was like, wow, okay.
Keep it on next time, or stay home.
Fine. We'll do the censored show. So did you start with acoustic guitar, and how was the start of guitar? What was your influences at the beginning?
I was, I had a $20 Harmony or something like that kind of guitar.
Esteban.
Yeah, it was nothing, and I saved up money, and the first guitar I bought, I had half the money. My dad loaned me the rest. It was $400, and I bought a Gibson SG. I was 14, and it was the kind with the black with the gold on the inside.
Yeah.
It looks like a peg almost.
Yeah.
Kind of uglyish, but I loved it though. I figured if I'm going to play guitar, because I want to play guitar, so I'm going to buy a good one. And I went to Sam's Music downtown on Prospect.
Yeah.
And there was a guy named Maceo that he was just a huge human, and he was great, and then he teased his hair up even more, so he would be an extra 3 or 4 inches taller.
Does he play bass?
He played a little bit of everything, but he was a good guitar player.
Oh, cool. I know a Maceo that plays bass guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he still around?
Yeah, I think he's in.
Oh, this guy's gone.
So, okay.
Yeah. He was amazing, though. I wish I could remember his name, his last name. I used to call him Maceo Noodles because I could never remember his last name. His last name was something like that. But, yeah, he was great. And he sold me that guitar, and I think I just went after all of the Hendrix and Clapton and Page and Keith Richards and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then those guys were all talking about Robert Johnson and B.B. King and Freddie King and Blind Willie Johnson, and Then got into the slide thing pretty early. Probably not, I think it was like In My Time of Dying. It might have been the first, kind of slide outing.
Yeah.
Not knowing what I was doing, but just trying to learn it. And then there's a guy in Westlake, Pete Cavano, or Bay Village, actually. Great guitar player. And he was teaching at Westgate Music in Westlake. And I would go there and hang out, and he would show me licks and teach me how to play. And I did that for a good 6-8 months. So, and then I think every time I play, I cop his licks, even to this day. There's always, because he would be like, hey, what are you doing? Come here. I don't have a student, and then he'd show me some really crazy lick. I'm like, wow, that was sweet. And I use it all the time,
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Now his son Nolan plays in the Oregon Space Trail of Doom.
Oh, yeah, we've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen yet, but except online. But
It's a good show. I saw it from like way in the back of the beach and ballroom.
oh, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening there.
Yeah, they're cool. And he's a great dude. Yeah, so just like his father. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah.
Like Sam's Music. I think it was Dreadlock Dave brought up Sam's Music. He was talking
Yeah,
about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. There was one in Menor. It closed down in like 97 or something, but it was open for a while. It was Sam's Golf and then Sam's Music
Yeah,
were like the same
right.
building. I remember I
I
went in
think it
there.
was golf and music.
Yeah, yeah. They just had like you could go a door in between the two of them.
The weirdest thing ever. Such a weird place.
I remember when they were going out of business, they had found in the back a 1978 Ludwig stainless steel drum set that they only made for 2 years. It was still in the box.
Whoa.
And I had a paper route. I didn't have enough money to buy that. I ended up buying a couple cymbals, and actually, my brother Cody, he still uses the ride cymbal I bought from there.
Yeah,
That's his
yeah.
ride cymbal.
Nice.
But Sam's
How long
Music
ago
was
they,
cool.
they closed down?
It would have been like 95, 96 maybe, something like that. Yeah.
Sounds about right. I don't think I never went to the Menor one. I always went to the one downtown.
I lived in Menor, so I was right
okay.
there. I could ride my bike there.
Spud nuts.
Everybody gets a kick out of that place going by, Spud Nuts.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
I had no idea until I have a doctor. He just retired at 82. Harold Bowersox, great guy. He kind of saved me, but his last office that we've been going through the last 2 or 3 years has been right next to that Spud Nuts.
Yeah.
So we're about to get on the highway, and I was with my one kid, and I'm like, hey, what's this? It's like, Spud Nuts, donuts made out of potato flour. And he goes, will that make a difference? I don't know, let's go see. And then we got it, we both went, oh my God, it was the best donut I've ever had.
Yeah,
So-
they're tasty.
I've still never been there.
You haven't been to Spud Nuts? Yeah,
I,
come on
I
down.
live in Mentor.
Yeah, it's 615, man.
I think there's one in Menor, and then my kid was also saying there's one in Berea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
But I took a picture of the one in Berea or in Menor, and I put it online, just like, here's my schedule where I'm playing, and here's also Spud Nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird looking place, It's got
Yeah,
a little
I
bar,
gotta
and
check
it's
it out.
got like a little vibe to it.
Yeah.
A little jukebox in the
No,
corner.
I used to work for the city of Menor, so when I was like out plowing at night, stop in there and get a coffee and a
Yeah.
donut, get woken up, and yeah, it was good stuff.
My buddy's dad owned it. He built
Oh,
it
really?
and owned it. I had no idea. And he goes, are you out at 615 in Menor? And yeah. He goes, that was my dad's shop. And he just sold it, fairly recently.
Wow.
So then I mentioned it. And they're like, oh, I've known Mike since he was like 4 years old. Crazy.
Went into food again.
Oh, always. We always go to food. We go to food or beer or cartoons.
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 When we're done talking about music.
Yeah. I don't think we're done talking about music yet.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, it's still early.
Yeah.
That extra hit off of your pen did send me like to the next plane that I was like, where I just listen. I don't talk much.
You leave it all on.
That's perfect. Because I talk too much. So,
Keep going.
I have a new record out.
March 17th, right? It came out on
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. I was just listening to it in the backyard with the beautiful weather. It was awesome.
I was listening to it for a few days.
Oh, that's cool.
It was, real cool. I was playing along a lot too. That's some of the first styles I learned on guitar. So it was like taking me back to my roots.
Oh, that's cool. Very
I'm
cool.
gonna play
So
some
I
more
know-
of it this week.
I know there were some covers on there. Are there originals on there too? I don't
Most
know.
of them are. I wanted to do all originals,
Yeah.
but I got signed to a German label called Hoboville Records, and they were like,
Pull it up.
put a couple of, they're actually new. I was the first person to be signed to it. And then, because they're a subsidiary of this label called Flying Dolphin. And that's a metal label. So, but then they
How did
started.
that come about?
David Spiro on the east side. I have lunch with him, and we were sitting around talking, and we've been having lunch for years, 7, 8 years, I think. And the one day, somebody, was calling about one of his bands, and like, hey, you know any blues guys? We're looking for some blues guys. And he goes, I've got a guy you might like, So I sent him, I don't know. They said go through my whole career and send, a little bit of everything. So like,
One
holy
Heart Walkin', that one stood out to me, and then I saw that you'd released it earlier than that after I went through. I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, that record, this Muscle Shoals record was like, they wanted me, I have a record that nobody's ever heard. It's been done for like 2 or 3 years. Actually, 4. And, the label was, they kind of wanted me to have just me and a guitar. And I was like, well, cool, we'll just take some tracks from those old records and put it together. And they're like, well, I don't know, that would be cool, I guess. But and I was like, well, I have this stuff that I recorded at Fame Recording in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And they're like, you were in Muscle Shoals? I go, yeah. I was like, well, what were you doing there? And I told them I was playing in Memphis, and I have a bunch of friends there. And, actually, it was a guy up here, Andy Moore. He said that, Muscle Shoals, Alabama is only like 2.5 hours from Memphis. I'm like, really? I mean, that seems, I don't know, Alabama seems very far from here. And you know what? It is. Because I drove forever. So when I found that out, I went home that night and I emailed Muscle Shoals Studio, where the Stones and Skinnerd and all those, a lot of people played at, and then Fame Recording, where like Sam and Dave and Wilson Pickett and Solomon Burke and Otis Redding and Aretha Franklin. I think the Allman Brothers started in the room next door. Wow. There was the big jam where, went on for 3 hours, one tune, and Duane Allman kind of put his guitar down and said, well, if you guys don't join the band, you're going to have to fight me to get out.
Yeah.
So, but, so Fame Recording answered right away and said, well, do you want to come on Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm like, well, how about Wednesday? Because that just sort of worked out, and I drove for 12 hours and, actually came up with like a good idea for a tune on the way down and pieced it together and sang it into my phone and sent it to my buddy Chris Allen, who we always write tunes together. And Chris happened to be working on songs, and he was like, this could be something cool. So he put his magic to it and sent it back to me, and I'm like, whoa. So I ended up recording or like working in the working on the tune till like 5 a.m, trying to get it right, or at least as close as I could. And then I'm like, I gotta go to sleep. So I went to bed, and 10 a.m. I was recording the tune. So
Which one is that?
that was the last tune on the record, Sun Go Down.
Oh, nice.
Pretty heavy record, or a heavy tune, but
I like how that starts off just vocals. Yeah, you kind of like you're listening for where everything's gonna fit underneath, and then it all comes together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the record in a long time. I don't know.
When did you record it?
April of 2021. So, I mean, it was like, gigs were coming back, but there weren't enough of them to make it, like, a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had, like, a Sunday gig every month, and a couple other stragglers. But I did a lot of weird gigs. People were amazing because I just wanted starved for music.
Yeah.
So there were, like, one guy hired me to play at Myers Lake in Kenton.
Kenton, yeah.
Is that Kenton?
Yeah.
And
we played a show out there.
Oh, yeah, we
at
did,
Myers
didn't we?
Landing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it on, like, to a bunch of pontoon boats?
No, it was by Myers Lake.
Oh,
though.
okay.
But yeah, I was hanging out at that lake before our gig that day in Miami. Yeah,
Wow.
Nothing to do this day. I'm just gonna chill, and it was a great place. But
Yeah.
you played. at
Yeah,
the
it was
lake.
really crazy. These
At the
people
lake,
have these
that's
cool little condos that have, like, a pontoon boat parking space. So they're like, but there was, like, a little strip of land in between. And then you could kind of go around it. And I don't know how to describe it, really. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, I was about 200 feet away from everybody, sitting on, a piece of land with my speakers, then just playing to people on their boats or, on their patios.
Wow.
And it was the weirdest thing, man. And, I'd finish doing, and... yeah, it was bizarre. Then I played a birthday party in the middle of winter. It's like February. It's like 22 degrees, and I'm in a garage playing. And all these people are sitting around the fire, and there were a couple of heaters in there, but it was still cold. And
Guitar, man, cold is rough. With drums, it's not so bad because you're moving enough to keep warm. But guitar, like, I always felt terrible doing cold gigs. Where if I'm cold as a drummer, I felt awful for the guitar players.
it's brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal, but it was cool, But the best one was my friend. I would do live streams every Saturday and Sunday in the morning. Again, brunch. And... because I figured all musicians are asleep at that point, and normal people are awake.
Yeah.
So I thought, well,
Our musicians are still awake.
we're still awake is right. Exactly. But I think that was like, I thought I'll just give it a shot, Then I started doing it, and it was fun. But my one friend, she was like, I want to help you, but maybe you can help me. And I'm like, okay. And she and her husband own a Dairy Queen in North Ridgeville. She's like, do you want to play in the parking lot? I'm like, sure. Whatever, see what happens. And, because the inside was closed, but you had to, if like, here's the window to get your ice cream, there was a line like this and out into the street of just people that wanted ice cream.
Yeah.
And then, the homeless guy in the parking lot playing music. Who's that guy? He's got one leg. Oh, man. That homeless guy's got a Bose system. That's weird. He's got a really cool guitar, too. The weirdest homeless dude I've ever seen. But after a while, it was like kind of amazing. I'd do it every week, and it paid my mortgage.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
During the peak months, I'm saying.
Yeah. I know there was a lot of comedians were doing that type of thing. They were doing like drive-in stand-up. They said like people would honk their horns and like for jokes and stuff. Yeah.
There was like that, and there was like concerts at drive-ins.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was some weird stuff. And it's weird how like we got used to it for that while it was
For just
going.
a
I'm like,
little
oh
bit,
yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I kept a track because, it was so boring at times. Like, man, what am I going to do? And I think I started. I made a list of like all the people I listened to on live streams, because a lot of them I'd never seen before. You just stumble on something, and there was one like the Quarantine Quartet or something like that. And it was like a mom, dad, and two little boys playing guitars, like Spanish kind of, And these kids rip, and they're like, 11. And one kid looks like he's, been doing that all day. He's like 8, And then the other kid, he's just got the droopy eyes, and then the other kid was, just ripping it, and the mom and dad are ripping it, and I'm like, wow, this is nuts, But I don't know. I made a list of all that stuff, and I still met a lot of people. Like, man, that's great. Like, oh, I watched some of your stuff, Yeah.
I watched marble races during COVID. People set up these crazy ass tracks and did filming that was ridiculous. And they had Marbula 1. They had marbles racing on this track.
Wow.
And it had like a conveyor belt that would bring them back up to the start finish line after each lap, and they'd keep going. And he had the graphics were amazing, like real racing. How many tenths of a second everybody's behind each other, and they had names of teams. And the Green Ducks are ahead right now of the. I got way into marble racing. That's
amazing.
Yeah, I never knew that one.
And there were like hundreds of thousands of views on all of them.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
it'll be +1.
I watched
after
one.
the night. Well,
I watched one
+2.
last week. I watched one last week. It's still going. The production value is insane. Like they have a camera at every turn.
Wow.
And they're keeping track of every marble, and the announcer's like spot on. Like, oh, that was a strange move from Greenie coming around. Oh, here comes Crazy Cat's Eyes. And those are actual names of some of the marbles.
That's brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, they did a different track. They would do qualifying on like Fridays. They followed like the Formula One schedule. They would do qualifying on Fridays and then a race on Saturday. And it was something else.
That's amazing.
Guy was way set up. Way set up.
I didn't do much over quarantine except travel a lot.
Yeah. You started dating your significant other.
That's right. Yeah.
Got forced into lockdown together and made it work.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're still together. Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Well, being together every day instead of just a couple days a week, like when you first start dating, is just fast tracks it. So you know right away whether it's going to work out or not, and it is going to work out. It worked out.
I was supposed to be leaving I was going to go to Ireland for a semester. I was still back in school.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
we were getting ready to be apart for 3 months, which we'd never done. We'd been together since we were 16 and 18 years old.
Wow.
And we went from getting ready to be apart for 3 months to locked in the same house for for a year. So. Yeah, it was a different
I had
thing.
a 6-week tour of Europe, and then I had I was going to leave March 22nd, and I had my record Muso came out March 20th. Yeah, I still have
frisbees
in my garage.
Yeah, that's right at the time that shit hit the fan.
Yeah, it was March 15th. Everything shut down, and then all the articles, and I had a bunch of stuff, and nobody knew. They're like, "Hey, man, I think it'd be smart if we just wait this thing out. Maybe it'll come out next month, or in a couple of weeks we'll put it out. Once this thing blows over a little bit."
Oh yeah, it was just going to be for 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
and then
2 months.
Yeah, then it was
2 years.
This might last until summer.
Shit, it might never end.
Yeah,
but I did love the. Man, I've been messing with that thing all. But I did love the.
Chuck it.
Whoop-ah. I did like the mellowness of it. I thought it was great to go out on the road, just drive, and there's nobody around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I liked about traveling so much.
Yeah.
We drove all the way to Colorado, Utah.
Really?
Yeah.
We flew out to San Francisco and then drove up to Seattle. Yeah, and it was we just camped along the way because hotels were closed.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. And nobody was out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both are brilliant.
Yeah, we did camping about half the time.
I think I was.
Some hotels were open.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my kid did that. My older guy, he and 3 buddies jumped in one of them had a newer car, and they went to like San Francisco.
Yeah.
Drove all the way.
Yeah.
Had and didn't stay in a hotel except for like one night. And they went to the Utah Salt Flats and
Nice.
all this crazy stuff. I'm like, wow. How did you do this? Like, I don't know, man.
Just gotta go.
What else
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah.
Travel's all right.
I just did a lot of weird stuff, It's just, I drove around the city a lot, like looking at weird stuff and seeing like new things. There's so much about Cleveland that you just don't, we just kind of take for granted
And you
because
don't
we've
really
been living here
notice or
forever.
appreciate when everything's so busy, but when the streets are deserted. Yeah.
Wow. Whole new scene.
It is.
And I was taking the kids down and, they would go with me because we were all bored. Everybody was.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you guys want to do? This is awful.
We could always cut. Just let me know.
This isn't.
Well, I don't know.
live.
Maybe it's not that bad. But so my kid goes, holy shit, somebody died on the bridge on like 117th and whatever, or 110th and Berea Road or something. I'm like, that's right down the street. And I was like, you guys want to go? And they're like,
You want to see a body?
yeah. I don't know. You want to go see what's happening? There might be some weirdness going on. So they're like, yeah, let's go. So we go and we drove. I mean, there was nothing to see or nobody was even there at that point, luckily. I just wanted to get them like out of the house. So
Yeah.
let's go do something. And then, so we drove around, man. We went all over the place. Like, it was on Saturday night, and it was like, went down the flats. Nobody,
Right.
hung out down there and just talked about a lot of different stuff and looked at all the weird stuff, but nobody's around. And then drove, east side, weird stuff over there, the observatory that's
Yeah.
been abandoned forever, and just weird stuff in just the general east side. Some, showing them a different side of life.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff there. So that was cool. Made the best of it. 4th of July was incredible.
I don't remember that exact 4th of July, but they must have set off a bunch of fireworks.
Oh man, the streets were on fire.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I was living in Euclid at the time, so they were just going off in the
Yeah,
street,
because nobody was
and-
doing a public gathering kind of thing. So everybody
That's
was
right,
like,
yeah.
I've got all this money all of a sudden. I'm going to buy some fireworks.
I bought some fireworks. So there, we were living on a dead end street right by the lake, and so we could just see them all over, up and down the whole lake. Just people shooting them into the water.
Yeah.
I'd like $1,200 worth of fireworks, please.
Like crazy. It was amazing. I was playing a gig. It was outdoors. So, and everybody was scared. So everybody's way far away. And it didn't matter. It was great. It was like a, nice little pond behind me and plenty of rolling hills kind of thing. So you could hear it. It was fine. And I'm driving home and the sun's pretty much down. And I could see in the, down 77 heading north. There's like a little ridge that was a little bit higher than everything else, and you could just see like the whole city and just stuff going off everywhere. Like, nobody's doing this. Is all on the street. I'm like, so I call my kid who was at my house, and I'm like, hey man, are you ready to go out? Because I'm going to be home in about 10 minutes, and you got to be ready. He said, well, I'm making us, something to eat, and I'm like, screw that. Make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We're going to go. And he's like, I don't understand. Be ready. Click. Then I come and go, so what's going on? I was like, this is insane. We drove around for like 3 hours, just going all sorts of weird little neighborhoods. And there was one like behind a Mark's, little grocery or whatever you want to call it. And man, there were some people back there that were just blowing stuff off like I couldn't believe it. And it's like we're so close, all the stuff's like landing on us and all on the car. Like, this is so cool. And my kid was going nuts. You know, it was like Dad of the Year award, you know? Yeah. Jason Myers. That guy owes me money.
Oh, yeah, Jason Myers, AmericanMusic.org. Go check out the cause.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do a benefit for them.
Oh,
Coming up, a live stream.
cool.
All right.
And then the money that's donated will go to them. We haven't set up a date yet, though. They wanted to do one on an August date, and I can't do it. I have a whole week off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm either going to book something somewhere fun, if I can, or
Or have
Just
a
go
week
have some
off.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, I can't
Drive
take
to
a week
Utah.
off. I got to do something fun.
Yeah. Drive to Utah. Utah's nice, man. Utah's pretty
Yeah?
cool. Yeah.
Never been.
We flew out there and there's
August. Where you going?
Yeah?
It'd be pretty toasty in August, I would think.
Ooh, I bet you did.
We went in May, but there's a company called like Outdoorsy, and it's like an Airbnb but for RVs. And so we flew out to Salt Lake City, and then they pick you up in the like a Sprinter van that's been converted.
Oh.
And there's like so many national parks there. We spent like 2 weeks there just camping and camping in the desert and checking out all the parks.
Sprinter.
Yeah, right out of the Sprinter van. We stopped at Walmart first thing, loaded up on food, filled the fridge, and we were set to go. And you could just go out to the BLM lands, Bureau of Land Management. And
Yeah, that's where my kid went.
yeah, you just stay out
Yeah.
there for free. It's
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
Utah is fantastic. It's definitely worth a trip.
I'd give it a shot.
And I was actually showing Evan. I don't even know the name of it, but there's you can even do RVs. You might be able to do one for free. So there's
Yeah.
So all these RVs are built, and this is totally not music related, but maybe a band could take advantage of this. All these RVs are built in Indiana, and companies that sell them, it costs a fortune to ship an RV. So you can drive it to where it's going to be sold for free. You have like 11 days to get to Las Vegas from Indiana, from Indianapolis.
Holy
two-day
crap, in an
drive.
RV?
Yeah, you get an RV. You have like they'll give you when it needs to be there, and usually it's like 10 or 11 days to go that far, and you drive it for free, and they'll give you like a $300 gas credit too. So you obviously can't trash it because it's a brand new RV,
Wow.
but you've got something cool to go across the
live off.
country, and
And then just fly.
yeah,
Hi, I'm Bob, driver of the Winnebago.
and now we know everything.
Wow.
Delivering your RV today.
Really?
Yeah, I just learned
But
about
I-
this like a week ago.
I think I'd be terrified to drive one of those big mamas.
They're pretty fun. They're not too bad. Above like 70, it gets you get a big wind, and you're like
Oh,
going all over the
man,
place.
Come on.
But other than that, they're all right. They're not too bad. They got power to them, and
yeah.
they do all right.
They go up mountains fine.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, I don't know, man.
So the Europe
Do they
trip.
pay you well?
Well, those ones you do. You just take it for free. So you're just you're not getting paid for it. But you have like normally they charge
But
like
they
$200
pays
a
for
day
the
or
trip,
something.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it pays
Yeah.
for the trip itself.
Or at least a trip
So
there.
I guess it saves
Yeah.
you money
yeah,
to take your vacation.
yeah.
And just fly back.
Yeah, fly back or find another thing that needs. And they do rental cars too.
I'll deliver back home now. Another
Yeah,
RV.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
You got to get a buddy out here that needs an RV at his dealership. Drive it back. So you
Wow.
never got to do your Europe trip?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Wow, what a
We went way
tangent
off
that
track.
was. That was amazing. No, I never got to go, but it was pretty funny, That's why all these weird gigs started happening.
Yeah, and getting hooked up with a German record label, like
Yeah, it's cool. They're nice guys. They're,
Yeah.
They're trying to, we'll see. I mean, it's a 5-year deal, so, and they're putting out some of the old records too.
oh,
so
cool.
Good.
it'll be interesting, because right
Notice
now,
that's like the only thing up on your Spotify is like newer stuff. So is that
yeah,
because
it's
of
just
the
the new
record deal?
Yeah, they made me take down everything.
Okay.
So, which is fine. I don't care anyway.
It's coming back out.
The only people that care, well, anyway. But
No, really, who cares?
nobody cares. I always thought it was funny, like the guy that would be like, "Oh, none of your stuff's up on there anymore. I used to like to do something to this." Like, "Oh yeah, oh well, the record's right here. You could just buy one if you want."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I don't know about that."
Buy a record, what?
Like,
I don't know. Kind of funny though.
fucking guy. It's like, Jesus, come
Buy
on,
something?
man. You'll give your money to Spotify, but you won't give,
Right.
Speaking of all that Spotify stuff, have you guys seen all the AI music stuff coming out?
I'm
I've only
hearing
heard
about
all
it, but
about
I
it.
haven't heard any of the songs. But I've
I heard
about
a
it.
Drake song. I heard AISIS. Have you heard AISIS? You'd be interested in AISIS.
Is that like AI ISIS?
It's Oasis,
Oh.
but done by AI, and it's a whole album. And now it's like there's people doing reaction videos on YouTube. The Drake one is a catchy fucking song. And
Oh, you mean it's totally fake?
it's totally fake. So, we've done this podcast enough where people can take both of our voices and turn it into anything now. But you can. It'll come up with the lyrics. It can come up with all the instrumentation, the melody, everything. It does it all.
But it's a brand new song.
It's a brand new song. It's catchy as fuck, and it's completely made by computers. So I think we're going to be moving into a section now that's like when Napster first came along, where the music industry is going to have to figure something out. Because the Drake videos started getting pulled down by Universal Recording Group. They pulled it down, said this is our
too much.
copyright, but then it's like, well, you have nothing to do with this. This isn't a person. This is completely a computer. It sounds like your artist, but they have nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man.
The possibilities are going to be crazy. Like you could theoretically, we could all get together and write a Prince song done by Prince.
I don't want to do that.
It's like Prince used to be so good.
Yeah. There's another thing they did was they took one
I don't
of
know about this new Prince.
Paul McCartney's newest album. They took it and then they replaced all of his vocals with Paul McCartney from '65, and it sounds a lot better.
Come
with
on.
Paul McCartney from '65. You got
course
Beatles
it
Paul.
does, yeah.
You got Beatles Paul rather than Old Man Paul. You're like, I love Paul McCartney, but
No kidding.
it's a whole new thing that's coming out now, and
It's going to be out of control. Who knows what's going to happen?
Some artists have-
everything's going to go through a big change. soon.
Some
Just
artists
in the next
have-
few years with technology,
Yeah.
it's just exponentially getting more complex, and industries are getting more streamlined, and everything is going to be different than it is now.
Well, now it's
I've heard of new computers, phantom computers or something, that are going to be
quantum computers.
quantum computers. Yeah.
They're still working on that. They're finicky, but quantum computers, when they're combined with the AI that's going on, it's getting nuts.
Yeah,
but
that's just like 5 years away.
some artists are trying to get ahead of this by if you make a song that is in my style, cool, I'd like 50% commission. So they're trying to go that route and get ahead of it that way. I can't beat this, but let me try and cash in on it while I can.
Wow.
Whereas now,
They make the laws.
yeah, now Spotify has this huge streaming, capture of an audience. They can make their own songs based on these artists, so it's
and
going
put
to
them in their own
really weird.
playlists.
Yeah, and put them in their own playlist exclusively on Spotify, and cut the record companies out. But live music is still a thing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For now.
I'm 53. I don't know how many years I'm going to be, banging away on this thing 8 nights a week,
Yeah. Willie Nelson's still out there.
Willie's some kind of, he is amazing. Pretty great. I saw a thing about Snoop Dogg saying the only person that ever outsmoked Snoop Dogg was Willie. He's like, man, I hit the button. Wow. I
80
just
years
saw
of
it like 2
practice.
days ago.
Snoop is no joke. I remember we went to Amsterdam years ago, and we went to one of I forget if it's the cafe or the coffee house, whichever one it is, but they had the
cafes.
recommended by Snoop. This was his blend, and that's I had some of that. And passed out in the middle of the street. And I said, I remember I woke up and Julie, my wife, was like, she was like smacked me awake in the road, dragged me out to the side. And like the first thing I said when I woke up was, I don't know what that blend was called, but from now on it's ground chuck.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
AI, it's something.
Yeah, it's real. I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks though because it's not even worth talking about. It's just like movies and all the fun stuff where you get to hear some interesting music and stuff like that. It'll be all this weird.
Yeah.
I
There's
feel
some
bad for kids. What are they gonna do?
There's some upswing to it though. Is like I forgot what the effect was called, but it's basically like the time between when you want something and when you have it is getting smaller and smaller and more tailored to you. And with this AI, like when video comes around, you'll be able to be like, I really want a movie with Dolph Lundgren and Mike Tyson recreating Rocky IV, and you can have it within seconds. Like we're not far from that.
Really?
Where you can have custom tailored entertainment exactly to you. And it's weird because the computers are getting smarter, and as they're getting smarter and learning, like imagine if we have all the people on Earth are out learning something, but as soon as they figure something out, we all know it and we all can't forget it. We'd get a lot smarter a lot quicker, and that's kind of what's going on with these computers, these AI computers right now. So it's getting exponentially smarter as it's going and better.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's too much, I think.
Yeah.
It's too much.
See, I stayed off the vape pens.
No, it's gonna be a serious problem.
Yeah. The deep fake
besides
stuff is going to be a serious problem. Like
I'm sorry.
What is?
like deep fakes. So like
Oh,
you won't
right,
be able to
totally.
tell. You won't be able to tell if something is real
Yeah.
unless you were there.
I mean, that's where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Trouble
Big trouble.
all around,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
On so many different levels. Bad news.
Debbie Downer today.
I don't know about Downer. Just trying to think about all this stuff, or like all the possibilities of any problem happening from it.
I'm so deep
It's
in
all-
the AI hole. Like I'm full in because I'm like, this is going somewhere crazy. So I want to try and like at least know what's coming a little
Be
bit.
ahead of it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I haven't been researching it, and every time that you talk about it, I think, man, once stuff starts going down,
Here's
it's
the-
going to come out of
All right, you
nowhere
ready for
at
the
me.
craziest thing that I've heard so far? So a couple weeks ago, the craziest thing I'd heard was they were able to put like scanners on to get your brain signals and have you look at a picture, and AI could do a picture of what you're looking at based on your synapses and everything. So they were showing a picture of a giraffe. They were showing a picture of a giraffe, and
man.
it put out a picture of a giraffe. Well, now they've taken it where they can do it wirelessly in an MRI machine.
Oh.
And they can talk to you and then print out what your thoughts are on what they just said to you. So they had a woman saying, I don't have a driver's license. And what it printed out from just the brain scan was she hasn't learned to drive yet. So it like took your interpretation, and what they're going to do with this now, they're looking to take it so that they could turn your dreams into pictures and then eventually videos
Oh boy.
Wow.
through an MRI, so wirelessly. So then you're going, all right, so now, then you start going into all the conspiracy theories with the government. You're like, all right, so they can wirelessly figure out what my thoughts are now, huh? Even while I'm sleeping. This is great.
You can remember your dreams. You can like see them again when
You
wake
can,
up.
actually go see your dreams when you wake up. It seems like we're not far from that, the way it's ramping up.
Wow.
Yes, I always have good dreams. I'd like that.
I have crazy ones.
Favorite dream? You got one?
I don't think I have a favorite dream. Do you have a favorite dream? Yeah?
I had one that was incredible. It was flying. Because you're always being chased or someone's going to beat you up or something like that, At least half of mine. So I'm like running, I'm booking. I take a look and I'm like, there's a puddle. So I like jumped over it. I'm like, whoa, flying. And I flew forever, you know. It was like total Spider-Man kind of, you know. Didn't really make any sense. I'm kind of learning how to do it, and cruising. And then I woke up. I'm like, oh, man, I'm not flying. That's so sad. And I fell back asleep and went back to it.
Oh, that's
great.
I love
And then
when that
same
happens.
thing, you know, I've woke up again. I'm like, oh, that was just a dream.
Close your
That's
eyes.
so crazy. And I fell asleep and went back to it again. And then I never dreamt about that kind of thing again.
Wow. Well, hopefully you get it from just bringing it up tonight.
Man, I think about that all the time. I was like reading about like how you can, you know, focus your dreams,
Yeah.
to do things that you wanted to. I'm like, fly.
I had one with my dog in it who like we had to put down like a year ago, and that was a good one. That was a couple weeks ago. That was nice. I woke up
That's
happy.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So that's my favorite dream for
You got
right
an extra
now.
one
at
of these
least.
down there?
Yeah.
Always. You know who just texted me?
Who?
Chuck Kaminsky,
Oh yeah, he
the basement trader.
The basement
basement
trader.
trader.
Yeah.
What'd he have to say?
He said, "Can you call me at work tomorrow or before 9 a.m.?" Yeah.
Basement trader. Yeah, Chuck Kaminsky. Talk about him.
Out in Painesville, Ohio. So his primary thing he's been doing is setups. If you need a guitar set up, super quick turnaround, great setups. If you're on the east side, go see Chuck. But he's also got 2 reverb shops. One of them is like exclusively guitars and basses.
Nice.
And he's got some really cool shit on there. He's got it's a 68 ES335 Gibson on there right now, and a 66 Rickenbacker. I think it's a 330. He's got up
I think
with
I
a
got like 14 bucks in my pocket.
with
I
a
think you go for it.
Bigsby. He's got the nice thing is he's got players grade stuff. So like my guitars are all players grade too. You know, where you can
That's
actually
a-
play them, not
yeah.
worry about dinging them, and they cost a fraction of what the originals did, what a clean one would cost.
Well,
And
it's
then
not going to be on the wall. I'm going to jam on it.
oh yeah, and then his other shop is like all amps and pedals, effects, things like that. So check him out, Basement Trader, BASSMENTTRADER, and he's in Painesville, Ohio. Chuck Kaminsky, the Basement Trader.
Chuck.
Chuck on Chestnut,
Yeah.
which I used to live on Chestnut in Menor. So like literally every phone call was like, "Hey, this is Chuck. No, this is Chuck. No, Chuck from Chestnut. No, I'm on Chestnut." Literally every single phone call.
Yeah. Thank you for a whole podcast season with these mics you gave us, Chuck Kaminsky.
2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah, this is the final episode of season 2.
Wow.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
Dun-dun-dun.
We'll have a cliffhanger at the end.
about AI.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we're all
season's-
still around.
Yeah, next
The bots will
season's,
take over.
Right. We're not going to be actually recording these. We're just going to hit a button, and you'll have an episode.
Oh, there's podcast editing software that just came out now. So if we switch to a multicam setup, which I'm thinking about doing, it recognizes who is talking and switches the camera automatically in your
Really?
editing process to them, which normally like takes you like an hour to do. It can do it in about like less than 10 seconds. Split up the
Wow.
whole podcast. So I'm looking at getting some more cameras. So we might have some cool stuff soon.
That's really cool
Yeah.
that you guys are doing this.
We're having
Really,
fun.
I mean, it's, who else has been on here?
Episode 67.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people have been on.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's all,
What was the
and
most-
everybody's been awesome.
Yeah.
We haven't had any.
Let's hit some highlights. What were some of your favorite guests we've had?
I don't know. I think I like.
Dave Katz. I really liked that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Acoustic Hookah.
I like
Oh, yeah.
Malik because we don't
yeah,
get a
Malik.
view into that world of like hip hop at all.
Right, yeah,
you
that
know?
was a really good one.
So that was very cool. It was cool having my brothers on here.
Oh yeah, Among the Willows.
Yeah.
They're blues rock band. You'd
Yeah,
like them.
All right.
Like if you like Stevie Ray, you probably like them.
I loved having Grav in here. The second time, especially.
Yeah.
They were our second episode, and then again, it was awesome having Ray Flanagan in here a couple times. He's
Mikey
awesome.
Silas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a lot of fun. Came in really early on the show.
Yeah, Brent Kirby was a awesome one. That might be my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Favorite conversation.
Yeah, when he talked about he would get inspiration pre 9/11, where he would go to the airport to see like loved ones wishing each other off for their flights to get song lyric ideas. I was like, wow, it's It's a great way to do that. It's now gone. I guess you have to stand there by the drop
Yeah,
off.
right.
Yeah,
Get shoot off by the cops and try to keep everything moving.
Here at the bomb squad or what was that place called? 101st Bomb Group? There was like a restaurant there, right, where you can park and
Yeah, I've heard it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it might be gone now.
I don't
within the last
I've only
couple of
heard
years.
that once, but yeah, something.
Yeah.
Sade Young was a good one.
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun. Everybody's been awesome. Cleveland musicians are cool.
Cleveland's a pretty great place. I mean, it's surprising, like traveling and seeing different cities and, getting into the scene and seeing like, wow, it's not that much different or not even as cool.
We just had Thor Platter. That was a really fun conversation too. Yeah, AJ in the Woods. Sea Level was good.
Sea Level, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's cool.
Yeah, I've never had a bad time.
Yeah. Like, I was nervous about this at first, just having people come into my house like every week that I don't know. Because like I came from the cover band and tribute band scene, and they don't cross over with the original scene like at all.
All right.
So like I didn't know anybody. My wife was like, "You're gonna have a bunch of strangers coming into the house every week," and everybody's been awesome. So
Thanks, Julie.
yeah, thanks. Should we do the 216? We didn't do it last time.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, let's fit that in, and then get to the last question.
All right.
Do some.
So we do a thing. We try to make it so that we can do shorter content and we can split off of this, but it never ends up happening because we keep talking. So the 216 is 2 Desert Island albums.
Oh, man.
One venue you would love to play, and then 6 bands that we should be listening to, or artists. And they don't have to be Cleveland, they could be wherever, but Cleveland's cool too.
Okay, well, let's see. What was the first one again?
Desert Island albums.
Desert Island
So
albums.
2 of those.
Yeah.
All right, off top of my head, kind of Blue Miles Davis. Number 2 would be, okay, I'm just going with the first thing that popped in my head. Blind Willie Johnson, The Complete Works.
All right.
Nice.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm listening to that. So just listening to you the last few days has gotten me back and playing that, like I said. So I want something deeper. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
I'd never heard.
tough. Dark Was the Night, Cold as the Ground was one of the tunes that Blind Willie did. Blind Willie had a terrible life, It's like his stepmom was cheating on his father. Dad comes home, kicks the guy out. I don't know, whatever happened between the two, the married couple. But then she grabbed some lye and threw it in the kid's eyes. He was 7, blinded him. So he's blind. He's a street preacher. He played guitar and the coolest slide player you'll ever hear in your life. And a lot of times he sings like a frog. And he had this woman that was singing with him. I think she became his wife. And, they just had these great songs that are really, considered kind of Delta blues, but they're really smart lyrics, but very religious too, and very cool. Like Jesus Make Up My Dying Bed turned into In My Time of Dying. And, Motherless Children's on there. It's like a lot of classics, too, But, yeah, okay. So what was the next one?
Next one is one venue you'd love to play.
You know what? The Hollywood Bowl was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, is that even still around?
I don't know.
Probably.
I can Google it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then the 6 was 6 bands you recommend, or 6 singers, players that overlooked, maybe you don't think get enough credit, or you just want to make sure people are hearing it.
Local people?
Give me
everybody?
both.
Anybody?
Yeah. All 6 that come to mind.
Man, there was a gal around town, Vicky Chu. She haven't seen her in years. Like Barking Spider was probably the only gig she would play. She writes great songs, and she Plays a little bit, but not much. And I just saw her for the first time in 10 years, probably, a couple of weeks ago. And we traded albums or something like that. And man, I listened to one record. I'm like, geez, this is a great record. I can't even got to the other two yet because I keep listening to this one over and over again. And so she's great. So there's one.
Hollywood Bowl still around?
Yes, it is. 2018, it was named by Rolling Stone as one of the top 10 venues in the U.S.
Well,
so you are not alone.
All right. I mean, the only thing I knew about the Hollywood Bowl was like the Doors.
The Doors, yep, that's what I knew.
But I mean, I was trying to think of like the first thing that pops in my head.
Yeah.
Like the first, I guess I'd have to do with bands too, but I'm thinking like some of my local friends, I think everybody should listen to Ray Flanagan. I think everybody should listen to Chris Allen. I think everybody should listen to Doug McKean. I think everybody should listen to, oh man, what's that guy's name? He's such a wicked guitar player. Shit, I can't think of it. Anyway, it'll come to me at some point. I'll be like, that's the guy.
217.
Good player. Good. We got some good players around town. A couple I haven't heard of. So
I think Jen Mauer is amazing, and Mo Mojo. Anything that they do has always been really cool. Who would be number 6? I don't know. I mean,
that guy,
the mystery guitar player.
Yeah,
that guy.
I was actually
who
listening to this guy on the way here called Hollywood Fats.
That sounds familiar.
It was a '70s, another Hollywood theme. Got a lot of themes here today. A lot of brunch, a lot of Hollywood. Yeah. We need to go to Hollywood and eat eggs.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, it's Bob Frank is a guy who's around town that used to play with Blue Lunch. And he has a podcast. And I kind of stumbled upon it. I didn't know what it was called. And I saw it. I was like, Bob Frank. And it was like the blues you should know. So the first episode was about Bo Carter, which is cool. He was the double entendre kind of guy. Let me put my banana in your fruit basket kind of deal. And then this other one, the second one, is this guy, Hollywood Fats. I don't know anything about him, and he was like a 70s, 80s kind of guitar player that people were loving. He played on a lot of people's records, and he backed up a lot of, Albert King and B.B. King. Albert King and shoot. I don't know, there was a list of people. It was real quick. I mean, I was just driving over. But it was real cool, I was like, man, I've never heard of this guy. And I've been in this, thing for a long time now, it seems. So, yeah. But that's 6.
All right.
Cool. This has been the 216.
And 5 locals, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys know Brent, so yeah, Kirby would be a good 6.
Yeah.
If we wanted to bump
He's in an
Hollywood.
Early episode.
Yeah, he's like
in the
12
first.
or
I think he's in the first 10.
Roger Hoover too. Roger Hoover wrote some great songs.
Yeah.
He was great. I saw him all the time when I lived in Kent.
Yeah.
Dang it. Oh, no symbol over there.
I don't see him very often these days, but
yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Usually it's
We had the Kent bell when we had the drum set over here. Whenever Kent gets mentioned because they got mentioned like every episode. For
almost every episode.
Like 50 in a row.
Do you guys know Doug McKean?
No.
He's writing some really great stuff.
We'll have to check that out and invite him on next season.
Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
J. Scott Franklin's great. Lost State of Franklin. Great writer. Alex Bevan.
Yeah.
Bevan's amazing. We just finished a record with him. We went to Suma. It was myself, Tommy Rich, David Young, and Leonard DeCosmo. And it was fun because we had never played together before. I played with Bevan before.
Yeah.
I've played with Tommy Rich a million years ago. And It was great. It was fun. I was playing electric and having fun, jamming out a little,
Yeah.
So
It is fun.
I love Suma. Yeah.
it's a beautiful studio. I record many an album there.
They have.
Only one for me. But it was the experience that I always hold my studio standard to. Which is why I'm always disappointed, I guess.
It's weird though. I went to Sun Studios in Memphis and I recorded an album.
Oh, cool.
20 years ago, and then for that trip to Europe that got booted because of COVID, I had a thing in the UK for like 2 gigs or something like that. And it was really, I didn't care. I just wanted to go there and record at Abbey Road. And I had a guy that got me in there. He was doing some work for them and he was like, yeah, I can get you in there. And we had it all set up and then got booted because, everything. And
if you bring that back and need a drummer, I will 100% drop anything I am doing.
Yeah, I'll play bass, play key. Yeah, what you need.
I'll play the spoons. I don't care. I'll get in there.
It's cool. It was such a weird thing. I was kind of all psyched up for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to go in and do a live set because I haven't done a solo record in a long time where it's just me and a guitar. And since that Sun Studios record. And so I thought, that'll be kind of cool. It'll be fun. It's like stuff I have, even though I haven't been playing for a while because of COVID and all that stuff, all that was later. But I thought for Abbey Road, that'd be really cool. And then a couple of Beatles tunes just so I could say, I did a Beatles tune there.
You have to.
Do the walk, take the picture,
Yeah.
And my one friend was going to fly. He's like, I'll come in and take all the pictures and video. And he was flying in from, Ireland. And he was in Dublin. So it would have been funny, But then I had that money, so, I was like, well, I'll just go to another cool studio.
Yeah.
Been trying to get into Electric Ladyland forever. I can't get into that all, man. It will happen, though. I just want to go to cool studios.
That sounds like an all right thing to do.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
That's going to be my thing. Somebody else is going to steal it now.
That's a good thing to have.
That's just between us.
All right, cut that part out.
There was this movie. I was playing a Himalayan blues festival in Kathmandu, Nepal. And they had this thing. The power would go out. It's a third world country. Everybody's honking. It's the craziest place I've ever been. And they're so poor, And I'm playing in this place called the Garden of Dreams. And it's like a bunch of really cool looking buildings in a semicircle. And then they have a bunch, like maybe, 13 stairs or 20 stairs or something like that. And it's all stone and they have candles, going all the way up it. Just, not a lot, just like a row of 2 or 3 rows of them. And I'm sitting there playing and the power goes out. And I'm like, well, I got an acoustic guitar, and I just kept on playing, and it was kind of cool. And there was this guy from Costa Boats. He's from New Zealand, and he was there filming it. And he's a filmmaker. He did a movie about the Candyman, the Candyman was the guy who invented Jelly Belly's jelly beans.
Okay.
And he was a lunatic,
You have to be to make a popcorn flavored jelly bean.
Is Willy Wonka based on this guy?
Incredible. I mean, the whole thing was insane. And then, he tried, when Reagan said that he loved Jelly Belly jelly beans, everybody wanted them. The guy tried to grow the company, but he was bananas. So the whole thing fell apart, and somebody bought him out and never mentioned him again. But yeah, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, weird. A lot of gigs.
It was a fun time. Good having you here, man.
Thanks for having me. I don't know what we talked about, but
either.
we talked about everything but what we were supposed to talk
It
about.
always does that.
Did we have something we were supposed to talk about?
No, not at all.
No.
That was the beauty of it.
Yeah.
We talked about the album.
Oh, yeah. Austin's got an album out.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a live set.
Yeah. Fantastic.
What are some other weekly consistent gigs people can catch you weekly?
Really, it's just the Rush In on Sundays. That's the only steady one. My website's walkincane.com.
All right.
And that's always got no G,
Walkin'
blues guy
Cane.
walking. And then, I update it every month. Sometimes I'm a little late, but
It's all right. We have a website we haven't touched.
Schedule then.
well, I mean, it's weird, like for a while there, I was updating. It was all COVID again.
Mm-hmm.
You'd update it and then you got to erase it, or you got to change it, or you got to just boot it. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is silly.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, so I just thought 1 month at a time is fine.
Yeah.
This way I'm not, because it's a pain. I don't like doing that stuff.
I bet it is. I've never done anything like that.
I hate it. It's just time.
I do it for work, but I get paid for that.
See, that's cool. I mean, technically, you
getting
get
some-
paid for it.
This thing, I don't want to make this into work. I have a lot of fun doing it.
We'll have to hire somebody to do their job. Yeah.
Well, you know what? The girl next door, she's a junior right now in high school, and she's going to like the vocational school for most of the day, and doing like filmmaking and stuff. So like, I'm like, you ever want to like make some videos and get some video here of artists and things like that? She's like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. So we make it
That'd be
some
cool.
more creative, cool stuff. And
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's only been a year. Like, give us time to get creative stuff out there.
I think it's cool that you guys are getting all these people in here, and they're all local people for the most part. Right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's the idea.
That's great.
Get everyone knowing each other, everyone like talking shop and passing advice along, promoting too. Promoting is probably most of what we're doing.
Yeah, we're trying to do.
But yeah, for them. Yeah, all our Facebook is like just.
How about Lava
shared
Brothers?
events. Oh yeah, hey.
Lava
Yeah.
Brothers are opening for Los Lobos, which is great because they were talking about them like
they were
as
talking
far
about
as
the whole-
influences.
Oh,
like,
no
being
kidding.
able to like open for one of your influences. I can only imagine what that's like. I feel so happy for them.
Yeah, that is real awesome.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
and they're fantastic too. Like
Where was that? That's it. Music Box.
Yeah, I think it's at Music Box.
Yeah.
I believe so. I saw them last at the was it the Holiday Hangout or something like that? The thing that happened in Akron, and they did a bunch of Christmas songs and just fucking nailed it.
That's awesome.
Cool. Good for them, man. Yeah.
Ready to get to the final question?
Sure. Need a movie recommendation or a TV show.
A movie recommendation?
Or a
YouTube
TV
channel,
show or a YouTube channel, something we should watch visually.
I just watched this. That's why. Like, I go through a phase, like, in the spring where I go on a little bit of a Dead kick, and I'll listen to the Dead for a while. And I watched Long Strange Trip, that's 6 hours, basically, of, 6 episodes. And
Yeah.
those guys were amazing. I had I knew because I've been a fan and I've seen that before, but it cracks me up. Like the Acid Test, those guys became a band because they could take drugs, heavy ass drugs, and play music in front of a bunch of crazy people. And that bond, like they're jamming forever, it was all out of that.
Yeah.
And it's incredible, really. And I don't know. It was really fun for me to watch again.
Long Strange Trip. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I gotta watch that too.
It's interesting.
I got a long flight. Maybe I can download it and watch it.
Yeah. Long Strange Flight.
Yeah.
Summer of Soul was great. I was in. Did you see that?
Yeah, I checked that one out. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was 1969. They called it the Black Woodstock, and it was like a bunch of like a summer in Harlem, right?
Yeah, I
basically
think
of
so.
concerts. So it was like all these cool people, and then I saw something called Watt Stacks. That was amazing. It was in Watts, New York, and it was Stax recording artists. So, it's like Albert King and Rufus Thomas and the Staple Singers and Isaac Hayes and it was like Shaft Glory.
Wow.
Like it just came out. And there was the Bar-Kays up there playing Son of Shaft, it must have been like the sequel or something, or whatever.
Yeah.
It was great.
Wow. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and that's such a trip because it was one of those movies that kind of disappeared. Nobody. Same with Summer of Soul.
Yeah.
Where it just.
Yeah, I checked that one out. I saw like the preview. I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, and that was the same thing with the Long Strange Trip, the Dead movie. Because I think they found some film that nobody had seen since 1969. And that was kind of like how it started.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. That was one of my COVID things. I started watching just rock and roll music.
Yeah.
Movies or documentaries or whatever. And I started writing them out. And then I put them online just for the boredom of it, And it was amazing. Like, all these different people are writing like what they watched and they've been watching. So I was like, all these people are talking about the Talking Heads. I mean, I remember them, but that wasn't my scene. So I watched it, like, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Charlie Is My Darling is a 1965 Rolling Stones movie on a weekend trip to Ireland. In 1965, Satisfaction just came out, and it's kind of like, wow. Charlie My Darling, I think was the name of that film. But, there was all sorts of great stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to get on that kick. Thanks for the recommendations to get me started. But
Man.
I've always wanted to dive into some music documentaries and movies.
If you want, I'll find that, because I kept it, because it was like,
I'll find
I
that
kept
list.
adding, yeah. But there was probably like 500 movies.
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones that came out. There was the one on Muscle Shoals came out. Yeah. There was
The Wrecking Crew,
that's the
Muscle
one I was trying to think of.
Shoals,
The Wrecking Crew was fantastic too. Yeah.
the Funk Brothers. What was the name of Standing in the Shadows of Motown? Was that about the guys that played all the
James
backing track?
Jamerson.
James Jamerson.
That guy. I just saw a story about James Jamerson doing the bass for What's Going On. Apparently, like, he had started drinking heavily by that point in his career. And they had another session bass player in there to play. And Marvin Gaye was like, no, we need James Jamerson here. And they found him at the bar. And they had to, like, carry him there. He played that whole track on his back, hammered in the studio. And you listen to it, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
The sax at the very intro.
Yeah.
Perfect. And he's like, no, I'm practicing. I'm just goofing around. I'm like, no, that's what we want. And he's like, well, okay.
It is perfect.
Okay.
It is perfect.
That's nuts.
But yeah, he played that on his back, like after being carried from the bar
Wow.
with one finger. Yeah.
Excuse me. Burped. But, yeah, that's incredible. I'd like to see, I'd like to watch Woodstock again.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll pull that out just to see, like, the madness of it.
I always love Soul Sacrifice there. Santana doing that.
man.
Just killer.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah. We were just jamming some flat. We were just
right
jamming
before
Thank You before you got here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's weird, man, Those are all people that are pretty amazing.
Yeah. Sly is.
To capture, the Beatles thing for 8 hours was amazing.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that didn't dig it.
Really?
Excuse me again. Man, ears making me.
Where are they?
Yeah, really. But I think there were people that weren't really necessarily musicians.
Okay.
Or, like interested in the songwriting process.
It's not for them.
It really isn't because, they screw around. There was all the screw.
One of the most interesting things is Ringo just sitting there waiting for something good to happen, and he's just ready. He just sits there and is like, yeah.
You know what?
All right.
This wasn't mentioned in there. I just read it. I'm curious if it's true or not. But Ringo doesn't come in for a long time during Hey Jude.
Yes, I know this story.
The whole bathroom bit.
Yeah. So Ringo was in the bathroom and didn't realize that like the take was going on. So,
and then he came in and he's like, "Oh, this is like magic, this could be it." So he sneaks on there, and it was like perfect time. He's like,
because he comes in at a weird time.
Oh yeah,
he's
right.
in the bathroom.
Yeah, bizarre. That was like Stax. Bernard Purdy was in the bathroom, and they're like, "Bernard, we got to record." He's like, "Hold on, I'm coming." Bernard, hold on, I'm coming. And Isaac Hayes like, dun, dun, hold on, I'm coming. Sam and Dave, man.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
It's a hell of an episode.
Yeah, always is.
A lot of talking, man.
Yeah.
A lot of talking.
Well, sign us off.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it this time.
Yeah.
All right. For the Cuyahoga Sound Podcast, I'm Chuck Schilling.
I'm Evan Stone.
Peace.
Adios, muchachos and chachas.